All right, this is Grant Mulder, and this is my app for review. So to start off, here's all of the check marks for the app on the Handlebar Labs. And as for the demo, I can sign in with the test user at example.com using the password he tells us, password. And it loads up with the restaurants. Here are the reviews. I can write a review. Great. And submit it. And it places it here. I can go back into it and it'll still be there. I can go into this one, just do a test. It'll be there. And same for the third one. And it shows up. So, with all that, you can also sign out and it brings you back here. And as for the code, and also for this part, we didn't have to do the sign up. He wants us to do it as a challenge, so it just takes us straight to this screen instead. But for all of this stuff, I'll start in mobile. So just the button, the form, list, navigation, that's all the stuff that we've looked at before. That's all the stuff that we took in from his startup part. And with the creating an account, just all this stuff for creating an account. This is for the other part, the initializing, and then the list. All this stuff. And then, well, as you can see at the end there, it navigates, after you do all this stuff, it navigates over to the restaurant details, which would be over here. And this this will import from React Native with the button, and this is just the coloring and stuff for this part, and just the review, submitting, and then having it pop up, and having the return with all that stuff, the views and the texts, and pretty much. And then for the sign-in, it takes an email password, and if it is incorrect, it'll give you the error. So it'll have to handle the submit. For the email, making sure the email is the state for the email, and then the password too. And then it saves the token as the result. And again, with the error, or like it goes to the information. And then again, if the error happens, it'll print out the error message, like if it's wrong or if it doesn't match. And then this is just for putting in, like over here, putting all your stuff in. This is like, this is saying you need a label for the email. This is just the placeholder, so like the gray, just as an example. And then it changes, and then the value. And same with password, this is just where you can put it in. And then the button for submitting it. And for util, the API gets changed over to my URL, and then just checking for the tokens, and then the review API, and fetching the URL and the API paths. And that's that. As for the navigation, this is what is referenced in the previous ones for the navigator and all that. And then for the index, this is just where the create account isn't used, but this is all just the setting up the screen with the headers. This is all the formatting, the restaurant details, the navigation. This is also for creating an account, which we don't use. Signing in for this page, the default navigation, and then switching also we used, and then just creating the container for all that. Now going into the server part. So the index in the restaurant is all just taking in the normal like restaurant things from like the database, whatnot. For reviews, this is all for the like taking in the different reviews for the database as well. And then the sign in is also another thing for this is where it goes more in depth about comparing and making sure the user is found. If it's not, it'll tell you it's not. Checking the password, and then also making it checking the token. The tokens were used a lot in this, and then just catching the error, sending it the error. For the middleware, we used all this stuff, authenticating the token or stating that there's no token when it catches the error. And for seed, this is just for the information inside all of the restaurants. And then the actual seed will connect to the database and then display all of the stuff, delete anything, and it'll create the test user, in which I use to sign in here. And we will get rid of this if we want to make it for the like sign up instead of sign in part, so you can use your own. And just going with the reviewing everything, and then making sure it's seeded. And then if it doesn't seed properly, it'll send the error out. And for the config, this is just the requirements, bringing in the constants. And then this is just putting in my database URL for the database and going into like setting up the new connection and all that. And I believe that's everything. So thank you.